Annyeonghaseyo! And welcome to my first Harry's Guitar Time video from Seoul, the capital of Korea. I've been living in Seoul for almost 2 months now. I've been cast in the international tour of Andrew Lloyd Webber's School of Rock the Musical.
I pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
To the band.
This video will focus on some of the things I did in my first 3 weeks in Seoul, leading up to the first show at the Seoul Arts Centre. Before we begin, if you enjoy my videos, please hit the like and subscribe buttons, as it will really help my channel to grow. So, let's get started. We flew out from Heathrow Airport just after Christmas. I said goodbye to my mum, and we went through baggage and security really quick. We met up with some of the other cast members, and before I knew it, we were boarding the plane. I'd only flown once before, and that was to Ireland when I was on the UK tour. We flew with Korean Air, and even though the flight was 12 hours long, I still really enjoyed it. I liked using the screen to see what country we were flying over. And fun fact, during the flight my dad had his 46th birthday. On the tour, all the young company have parent chaperones with them, and mine is my dad. We had 2 meals during the flight, and I watched 3 movies. I can highly recommend Elvis and the 3rd Guardians of the Galaxy movie. After 12 hours in the air, we arrived at Incheon Airport, and after we were reunited with our suitcases, something really cool happened. Edit in a drum roll, Dad! We were picked up by our School of Rock branded bus! It was so cool! It turns out there are 2 of them, and they are used daily to take the cast and crew to the theatre and back. By the time we arrived at the hotel, we were so tired, so it was straight to bed.
8 hours later.
In the morning, we unpacked our bags and explored the area around the hotel. I had my first real Korean meal, and then it was time to sort out my electric guitar. We found out it was quite expensive to bring a guitar on the plane, so we came up with a plan. We decided to take apart one of my existing guitars, pack it in the suitcase, and then reassemble it when we arrive in Korea. The guitar I brought with me is my Epiphone Les Paul that I got when I was 7. You may recognise it because I've used it in tons of Harry's Guitar Time videos, including my first. That evening, me and my dad made a video of me putting it back together for Instagram. Hi everyone, it's my 2nd day in South Korea, and as you can see, the guitar's arrived safe and sound. Now all we gotta do is put it back together. Dad, hit the time lapse. All done, and it only took 16 minutes and 45 seconds. Catch, Dad! What? No, not again!
Much later.
The next day we started our rehearsals for School of Rock at the Seoul Arts Centre. And look what we saw when we went downstairs to catch the bus. Snow! I'd never seen snow like it. And it carried on like this for days. The Seoul Arts Centre is massive. It's a huge complex with several theatres, museums, restaurants and shops inside. School of Rock is being performed in the Opera Theatre, and that seats over 2,200 people. I was given my access to all areas pass, which is super cool. We then got to work rehearsing the show. The guitars we're using in Seoul are different to the ones we used on the UK tour. Katie still plays an SG bass, but this time it's black. Dewey plays a Cherry Burst Les Paul Standard, and Zach plays a 2014 Lizzie Hale Explorer. I think it looks amazing. We have an awesome guitar tech called Sonny, who sets them up so they play really nice.
Several days later.
Our first full day off was on New Year's Day, and I joined some of the young cast on a trip to Seoul Tower. It's a 236 metre high communication tower on top of Namsan Mountain, and it's the 2nd highest point in Seoul. We took the cable car to the base of the tower, which was really good fun and something I've never done before. When we got to the base of the tower, we saw that all of the fences were covered in thousands and thousands of padlocks. We found out that these were called love locks. The idea is you buy a padlock and write a message on it for your loved ones. We bought one for my family back home and added it to the fence. On one side I wrote Harry's Guitar Time, and on the other I wrote the names of my family and my cat. If you ever visit Namsan Tower, see if you can find my padlock. And if you do, send me a picture and I'll put it in a video. We took the elevator to the top of the tower. The views were incredible and Seoul looked amazing. Fun fact, more people live in Seoul than in London. The top of Seoul Tower also has a very interesting toilet experience. We decided to walk back to the hotel, and on the way we found a lady selling Squid game cookies. My plan was to do a time lapse of me cutting out the shape, but it was so delicate it broke before I got back to the hotel. Fun fact, it tasted exactly like the inside of a crunchy.
Meanwhile,
You may be wondering where I plug my guitar into when I practice at the hotel. I'm using a Positive Grid Spark Go. Don't worry, this isn't a sponsored video. I got it for Christmas and I think it's the perfect practice amp. It's what McFly were using to warm up on when I jammed with them back in August. And if it's good enough for Danny and Tom, it's good enough for me. It's rechargeable and it also works as a Bluetooth speaker. It comes with 4 really nice presets. A great clean sound. A cool crunch. A rock setting. And a solo setting. You can also download the app and experiment with tons of tones and effects. Anyway, enough with the guitar nerdy stuff. Let's get back to the travelogue. Catch that! What? Oh no!
10 hours later.
After New Year, we continued to rehearse for the opening of the show. But we also started our tutoring sessions. We need to complete an average of 15 hours of schoolwork a week to legally be allowed to perform. We have 2 tutors on tour that help us to complete our work. And they've also taken us on trips, so we can learn more about the Korean culture and way of life. Fun fact, one of the tutors is my dad. One of my favourite things I did in the first few weeks was take part in a promotional video. The show is sponsored by Benz, and I was lucky enough to get filmed being chauffeur driven to the theatre with Connor, who plays Julian, in a brand new electric Mercedes. It was so cool, and Connor made me laugh the entire way. You can check out the full video on my channel. About a week before opening night, a few of the cast had to go to the theatre for haircuts. We decided to take the Seoul Metro for the first time. You have to use a T card, which you can buy and top up in the shops or at the station. I think the Metro is very similar to the new Elizabeth line in London. I also like that the trains have a little theme tune when they arrive at the station. I time-lapsed my haircut, expecting it to be as short as it was in the UK tour. But as you can see, there wasn't that much of a difference. I've since had a second haircut and it's much shorter now. In the evening, me and my dad went to the Seoul Lantern Festival. There were thousands and thousands of lanterns. We were so lucky to see it as it ended on the 21st of January. I'm not sure if you can tell from the photos, but it was -10. It's insanely cold out here. We've now made it to the opening night of the show, January the 12th. On the international tour, most of the children's cast play more than one part, and the company call each part you play a track. So my main role or track is Zach Mooneyham, the guitarist in Dewey's band.
Zack Attack.
But over the last 9 weeks, I've also learned to play 3 other tracks in the show. Mason the Tech Genius, James is in charge of security, and Billy the Stylist.
You're tacky and I hate you.
I was so happy when I found out I was playing my main role, Zach, on opening night. My dad was in the audience for the first show, and as you can see, the Seoul Arts Centre looks amazing inside. It looks like something from the Star Wars prequels. There's an amazing photo opportunity for the audience, an awesome cast board, and the merchandise on this tour is insane. And this is what it looks like inside the Seoul Opera Theatre. As you can see, it's on 4 levels. I've had a few questions about how the Korean audience will understand the show. Well, there are 4 giant screens either side of the stage for subtitles, and most of the Korean people I've met speak English really well. Opening night went so well. Here's an edited version of the encore and bows. If you want to see the full version, check it out on my channel. Thank you so much for watching my first video from Korea. If you want to see a part 2, please hit like and subscribe and drop a comment. That's it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.